I am so sick and tired of the WWE under Triple H. I have to be honest with you guys, okay? I am working on a video where I'm going to go over the last year of Vince McMahon's career in the WWE and compare it to how everything is like playing out with Triple H right now. But essentially, I really came to the realization that Vince McMahon truly knew how to build superstars, alright? He knew how to build superstars, he knew how to build a universe, a legacy, a roster, and right now under Triple H, I feel like he's just trying to like, you know, pick at straws here, you know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to just like, oh yeah, nostalgia bait here, nostalgia bait there, goon bait here, goon bait there, you know, like that's all that he's doing, alright? Let's start off with AJ Lee, for example. AJ Lee, the big return, right? Everybody has been like gooning for her to come back for such a long time, and now that she's gonna come back, we already know that she's gonna come back, so that initial like surprise element is gone out the window. At least have it be rumor, right? Because right now, you go to WWE Shop Twitter, right? They essentially said, oh yeah, AJ Lee is gonna come back for WrestlePalooza. The merch will be available soon. And this really made me think of one thing. The WWE truly sucks at keeping a secret. I mean, it truly is a wonder that they kept the John Cena heel turn under wraps. Honestly, you know, it really was a wonder to me. And right now, I think it is such a missed opportunity for AJ Lee to come back unannounced, you know? Now that it is announced, it's going to take away a lot of the, you know, momentum. It's going to take away a lot of the hype, because I would have much rather had, you know, speculation, rumors heading into WrestlePalooza, you know, for the match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Let's just say we get to the end game of that match. Everybody ran in. The Vision is like taking care of like CM Punk's friends. And then it's going to be like the moment where essentially Becky Lynch is going to once again enter into the match and try and help out Seth Rollins, just like he did at Clash at Paris. But instead, this time around, we're going to get another masked person, and it's going to be AJ Lee. Oh my god, what a big pop. That would be such a better way to go about it, you know? Because, you know, Triple H, right? I really think he likes to announce a lot of these returns just so he can spike up the numbers. Because right now, he really needs those numbers. I mean, WrestlePalooza, think about it, right? Why do you think after SummerSlam, the first initial segment was not about Brock Lesnar and John Cena? Instead, it was Logan Paul and John Cena. Why? Just to stall time. Seth Rollins' first title defense. It wasn't a one-on-one match, right? It wasn't. No, instead it was a fatal four-way. Why? Because it was just a house show. Clash at Paris was a house show, and we all understand this. Logan Paul versus John Cena, it was a house show match. It was just to kill time. And I really hate when the WWE does that. Oh yeah, let's stall and then let's just get by. Because genuinely speaking, they don't understand the dime that they have at their hands with week-to-week programming. I've said it so many times. If you want to go about, you know, WrestlePalooza as the big time match where John Cena is going to be back or things of that nature, that is no problem with me. You understand what I'm trying to say here? That is not a problem with. But it would be so much better if they had week-to-week television storylines. Alright? These storylines, they don't have to be on PLEs. They don't have to be on Clash of Paris. They don't have to be at WrestlePalooza. Right? Like what happened with R-Truth, for example? Bring back Truth. Bring back Truth. He's back. He cuts a promo, I'm driving now, and then the next following week, he's just back to being a goofy self. I'm sorry, I thought you guys meant Dublin and Georgia or something like that in America, right? Like, something so stupid, right? Why do you want to do that, Triple H? I don't understand it. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of being disrespected as fans. Do you guys understand, right? Like, look at the WWE as a video game. Like, think about it as Skyrim, for example, right? In Skyrim, you have main quests, side quests, and like NPC dialogue quests, you know, things of that nature, right? Right now, do you guys not understand that the main quest is still stuck at WWE Bad Blood 2024? We are literally still there, right? Because think about what the main storyline was with the WWE, right? Who is the face of the place? Cody Rhodes, alright? You can say John Cena, but it's Cody Rhodes, alright? Cody Rhodes, he finished the story. That was the big plot line. WrestleMania 40. Once again, the heel's advocate has to drag that dead horse through the mud. Because when I get you, John Cena, in the middle of that ring, it will be 1, 2, 3. And I don't know where that came from. But essentially, right, we all understand the whole finish the storyline. That was Cody Rhodes' crowning moments. And after that, it was an entire year of filler, right? We had filler up until finally Roman Reigns came back and he had this whole thing with the fake bloodline of Solo Sikoa, and he settled the score at Bad Blood. All right, and then at that point, what happened? What happened then? You know, the match ends, and then Roman Reigns, he hands over the WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes, and as soon as he does that, if you smell, right, the final boss comes back, and he does a weird signal. He sends a very cryptic message, and that was it. Ever since then, nothing really moved forward, right? If you look at it in terms of a multiverse spider web timeline, right? Think about it as this is the spot where a lot of side quests start to spawn, right? Like a web. All right, you had the web where essentially Cody Rhodes and John Cena had the whole heel turn thing happen. That is a side quest. Because the main quest is still at Bad Blood. Why? Because after WrestleMania 40, The Rock came out and he said to Cody Rhodes, our story has just begun. So we are still thinking about that, and that was a follow-up segment. So Bad Blood 2024, that was really where everything, that is where we are still at. Obviously, we had the side quests with Roman Reigns and the Shula Fala stuff. So Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Those are all side quests. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, John Cena versus CM Punk, John Cena, Randy Orton. That's all side quests, because what happened at WrestleMania 41? John Cena cheated to win, and he immediately dropped it again at SummerSlam. And now Cody Rhodes has his title again, and he's gone. What does that say? The WWE, they don't have the main storyline anymore. They have lost the sauce. And now you look at The Rock, right? Obviously, he had a massive health scare. He had to lose some weight, and he's looking skinny. It doesn't really look like he's anytime soon coming back into the ring, if ever. All right, that is why I'm really upset with the WWE for not pulling with The Rock and Roman Reigns. That was a perfect time. The Rock was bulking up to play, Mark Kerr in a Smashing Machine. He was in great shape. I mean, the shape that he was in at WrestleMania 40, amazing. I mean, he looked like a damn Hulk. But essentially, right now, we are stuck in the mud. All right, now let's take a look at the World Heavyweight Championship picture. You guys, I was so happy when CM Punk finally won the World Heavyweight Championship, because that is what the moment was all about. That moment was made for CM Punk. That title was made for CM Punk. When CM Punk came back into the WWE, I didn't really think that he had a place for, the WWE Undisputed Championship. Why? Because, you had Roman Reigns, Cody, Rock. There is no space for CM Punk, all right? So what there is a space for is for him to get the World Heavyweight Championship and elevate it, all right? That is what I wanted. And look, he came back in 2023 November or something like that, and he won a title in August 2025. Damn near 2 years passed up until he finally won. Over 2 years, I think, right? I don't know. Anyway, okay, like 2 years passed, and he only then won a title. The WWE moves at a snail's pace, and I'm really sorry to say this, but there's gonna come a time where people are just gonna tune out from Raw and SmackDown. The people that you have convinced to tune into SmackDown Live, Monday Night Raw, and Netflix globally, what do you really reward them with? Of course, I understand it. You have the ESPN deal and the Peacock deal. You're trying to make the most that you can with the PLEs and things of that nature. But what about Netflix? What about week-to-week programming? Like I said, what about week-to-week storylines? I would love for a United States Open Challenge, right? Or a Intercontinental Open Challenge, or a storyline where we have the New Day separating and we have Xavier Woods versus Kofi Kingston, and then that's going to be a week-to-week television thing, and the big moment is going to be still on Monday Night Raw, right? It's not going to have to depend on a PLE, right? Let's just say Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, they have a bunch of matches, right? He wins one, he loses one, a steel cage match, TLC match, something that really cultivates to a big moment, and then they're going to settle the beef. For example, what's his name? Big E is going to come back, and he's going to hug it all out, and then they're going to turn face again, right? That would be a great thing, right? We could have Big E back with the New Day, not as a wrestler, but as a spokesperson, and then we can move forward with that. Boom, the New Day is elevated, right? How about for example, Judgment Day? Obviously, we got to build up to Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, right? And I understand that Dominic Mysterio, he's the young guy. Finn Balor is 42, 43 years old. But I really would love to see, for example, Finn Balor with the IC Championship. And maybe Finn Balor, he can stop being a heel as well, right? It can be something like a turn on Dominic Mysterio, where essentially Finn Balor just leaves him and leaves Judgment Day, for example. I don't know, something crazy. Excite me, all right? Turn Finn Balor babyface. Put the title on him, right? Do something interesting, okay? That is really what I want to see, and I'm just giving examples here. How about instead of having Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, turn on one another, we could have had them be a duo, right? Because right now, what did Triple H do? He created a T-move version of the Bloodline, the MFTs. All right. And these guys can't even win against Sami Zayn. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. Is that really what you guys had to break up Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu for? I mean, we all remember, right? When Jacob Fatu came back into the WWE, I mean, not, he debuted into WWE, and he was like a crazy Samoan, right? I love you, Solo, with like his eyes wide open. He kind of looked like a mythical Samoan creature, right? I love that gimmick. I loved how mute Jacob Fatu was, and we could have kept that going, right? They could have been heels, but slowly with like backstage segments, funny skits. Solo is a great comedic guy. Right? Solo will never be a threatening individual. I mean, he looks like a Teletubby Chubby Tubs. You know what I'm saying? Muffin Top Solo. All right, he looks like a harmless kid. So we have to stop treating him like that, right? But if he and Solo, I mean, if Solo and Jacob were heels and they teamed up together, and Jacob was his muscle trying to save him at every single corner, that would work. That is convincing. And all that we can hear is, I love you, Solo. That would be such a great thing. And like, they would have funny moments and funny skits. I would love that. Let's do that, right? And we can have him turn babyface, and at some stage we can have Solo Sikoa turn on Jacob Fatu in a very tragic way, kind of like when Chris Jericho or Kevin, I think Kevin Owens turned on Chris Jericho when they were doing the list thing. All right, that was a big turn as well. That is what we need on week-to-week television. Notice how everything I just mentioned is for week-to-week television, but instead, what do we get from Triple H? We get a female segment that leads to nowhere. We're going to have Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, doing a tag match against Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, or like the Kabuki Warriors for the God knows how manyth time. We're going to have meaningless backstage segments, meaningless female matches, meaningless uses of wrestlers that aren't even there. I mean, please tell me, where's Austin Theory? Where is what's his name? The guy that plays Gran Americano right now. Damn, Ludwig Kaiser. I forgot. Yeah, Ludwig Kaiser. Right. Instead of having Ludwig Kaiser be under a mask, how about you take the mask off and you build him up? Right. How about you build up a segment where we have Ludwig Kaiser trying to rise to the top and essentially address the crowd and say, look, I was in the Imperium. Gunther, he was a champion. Gunther, he got all the opportunities, and you know what? I'm sick and tired of it. I'm going to take my own opportunities, and now we're going to have Ludwig Kaiser, attack people, try and go after the IC title and prove that he can be a longer reigning IC champion and go after Dominic Mysterio, right? And let's just say, and he beats Dominic Mysterio. All of a sudden, Gunther comes back, right? In the middle of that ring, all right? He comes back and he addresses Ludwig Kaiser, and he'll say, Ludwig, look, I'm always better than you. I will always beat you in the middle of that ring, Ludwig. I will always be your brother. I will always be your father. I will always be your Führer, right? he'll say some stupid stuff like that, right? And guess what? This can all be week-to-week television booking, all right? This doesn't take away from Roman Reigns versus this person. This doesn't take away from Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, or something like that. This doesn't take away from John Cena, Brock Lesnar. This doesn't take away anything, all right? And, for example, well, how about making Randy Orton a relevant superstar again that actually wins some matches and they can actually get a title run? I mean, look, can you imagine Randy Orton with a World Heavyweight Championship? That would be brilliant, all right? And then we have the whole fiasco with Cody Rhodes as, being a champion. I'm sorry, Cody Rhodes, the whole appeal for me kind of has faded away. His entire appeal was what exactly? He was a great underdog. He was a great chaser. He was a great pit bull. He wanted to finish a story. He wanted to get the title, and he did. But guess what, you guys? That was the same story, and it is still the same story since WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania 41. And he has a title again right now. And guess what? He's going to go into WrestleMania 42 as a champion once again. That is 4 years of the same story where essentially Cody Rhodes is chasing. And now the question becomes, At what stage is the fans going to start turning on him, all right? Because I want that to happen. I want the crowd to turn on him. I want everybody to start booing him. And I want Cody Rhodes to look into the crowd and kind of be bewildered and like kind of be lost. He's going to think to himself, I'm doing the right thing, you guys. Why are you guys hating on me? What am I doing wrong here? Like, what's going on? And then they're going to start, cheering on the heels that are going up against him. And then, boom, we're going to have Cody Rhodes turn heel. That's going to spice up everything. And maybe The Rock is going to come back and boom, maybe they can have an alliance. All right. That way we don't have to have Cody Rhodes and The Rock wrestle. And right now we all know, Roman Reigns is a babyface, and it took a long while for that to happen. So you can't mess with that. I truly understand that. So have Cody Rhodes turn heel. And now we're going to have essentially Cody Rhodes teaming up with The Rock, right? Against essentially Roman Reigns and his bloodline, right? Not really bloodline, but just the Usos. And boom, we're going to have a massive plot line once again. That would be amazing. We didn't get Roman Reigns versus The Rock one-on-one, but we can have something similar to that. All right. We missed the entire boat with John Cena and The Rock, so let's not repeat the same mistakes. I get it. The Rock is not going to be involved in matches per se, but he's still a great speaker, right? He can come out, cut promos, and he can do a great job in that way. And so you are not taking away anything from the product. You are adding on to it. But right now, let's just review what we've had so far in the year, okay? We've had a very weird Jey Uso Royal Rumble victory that, if it meant something when he won the title, I would say, oh yeah, that was a great decision because he rose to the top. He wins the title off of Gunther. That was a great match, I can't lie. But right away, after 51 days, he loses the title. So why do we have to do that? It didn't make any sense, right? For example, John Cena, he wins the Elimination Chamber, okay? So if he wins the Elimination Chamber, he's going to go and face Cody Rhodes as it is. So why did you really need to have him turn heel that day? Like, I get it, right? Like, I get why they did it, but just looking back at it, like, logically speaking, why would John Cena need to do that, right? I mean, you're already going to WrestleMania, so why are you doing this? I mean, I'm happy that it happened because that made it even more shocking, and the turn was amazing. I mean, it is the greatest heel turn of all time in the WWE, for me at least, But, look, it doesn't make any sense. So, that is then followed up by a victory over Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. Then Cody Rhodes disappears for some reason. I mean, why do you have to disappear, Cody Rhodes, right? Doesn't make any sense. He disappears. And then we have a few nostalgia bait matches. Randy Orton, John Cena, CM Punk, John Cena, yada, 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 right? And then we had, I think Money in the Bank. It was Logan Paul, John Cena versus CM Punk. Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. Okay? So right away, you are going to waste a John Cena PLE match for a tag match with Logan Paul in it and Jey Uso. All right. Not to mention, they did it again. They wasted another PLE. Why? For Logan Paul and John Cena once again. That is 2 wasted PLEs of the year that we will never ever get back in our life. Never ever. A wasted opportunity. And for what? Oh yeah, Logan Paul. He has great matches. Oh, great matches. Everybody's so obsessed with great matches. Are you kidding me? Like, come on. Stone Cold Steve Austin, can you really say he had great matches? I mean, the guy comes out, stomp, 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 punch, 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 punch. I mean, I like it, right? I like that. But the whole idea of great match, what they want to say with great match is oh yeah, it was a high spot. He flipped around. He did a few flip junkie shit, and then everybody was happy. Oh my god, so he's so athletic. Oh my god, Logan Paul, he's such a bad person, but he's so athletic. Oh my god, I gotta give credit to where credit is due. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, but this is the WWE. Aren't we supposed to have great matches in general? Isn't this supposed to be the Premier League of Wrestling? So why are we acting like what we are supposed to get is something that we should be happy to get? Okay, the in-ring wrestling for me is the last of my worries. Genuinely, it is. Unless it's Becky Lynch thinking up the arena. All right, that's a different story, right? But anyway, right, that is what I'm trying to say here. The wrestling has always been good. So why not focus on the storylines, okay? Then we have essentially SummerSlam happen. Thankfully, CM Punk won that. I'm so happy he did that. Oh my god. Oh, what a great moment. I really loved it, right? And I already knew CM Punk, Seth Rollins was faking that injury because no way, when he landed on his feet against LA Knight, he injured himself. No freaking way, okay? LA Knight does the BFT, he gets the victory, and then he goes on to have a gauntlet match for the number one contendership, right? And then he loses against Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker pins him. CM Punk comes out and then he wins the entire match. CM Punk goes to have a match against Gunther. He wins, thankfully. And then Seth Rollins comes back. He cashes in. And then the following Monday Night Raw, right? Like all of a sudden, right? LA Knight comes out and LA Knight says, yeah, I beat you at Saturday Night's Main Event. Who cares? Who cares if you beat him at Saturday Night's Main Event, dude? You lost a gauntlet match. And I don't understand how nobody talked about it. You literally lost a gauntlet match, dude. What are you talking about? I deserved it. To add insult to injury, we had Jey Uso's goofy ass come out, right? Jey Uso's cheating ass come out. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere from like backstage where he was probably like, pounding on fucking Jada Parker. He came out from the stances again. You know what I'm saying? He comes down to the ring and he's like, oh yeah, where's my rematch? What are you talking about? Where's your rematch? You lost the title 3-4 months ago, man. Like now it just dawns on you to come back for the title? Doesn't make any sense. All right? And then we have Roman Reigns returning. We think, oh yeah, Tribal Chief cool. Tribal Chief aura. Top 10 Tribal Chief swag moments of all time. I refer you, Rhea Ripley. You think Roman Reigns is going to come back and he's going to insert himself in that World Heavyweight Championship picture. But no. He has a stupid feud with fucking Big Back Bronson Reed with the fucking inner thigh jock itch discoloration that probably like, I think he might have some like fungus development in the crotch area. You know what I'm saying? He has a match with him over some shoes. Alright. So anyway, he cuts a promo where he says, I'm not going to be in the match for the World Heavyweight Championship because main event Jey Uso, he deserved his rematch. Brother, what about your rematch? Alright? What about your rematch with Cody Rhodes? What about the whole thing where, oh yeah, you stand in my way, right? With that one promo you cut with Cody Rhodes in that empty arena. Oh yeah, he's in your way. You never addressed him since. So how much really is he in your way? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Alright? And then he says like, oh yeah, Jey Uso is going to be in the Fatal 4-Way because he earned it. Do you know what he really wanted to say? That fuck ass title means so much nothing. You know what I'm saying? That title is so meaningless to the point where it doesn't even deserve the Tribal Chief sweat. That is the B title. That is the participation trophy. I mean, he literally said it in this interview right here. So why do you want to disrespect my intelligence, Triple H? You have these guys come out and say these weird things. Why? It doesn't make sense. And the thing is this, right? People like me and you who watch every single week, all right, I swear to God, dude, like the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, that feels such a long time ago because like I watch every single product, right? So I'm trying to be like in tune with everything, but I can't lie. I feel like the WWE truly depends on us forgetting what happened 2 or 3 months ago. Dude, these guys retcon so much content. I mean, what do you mean? Like, for example, right, when R-Truth came back and like, he said, I'm Ron Killings now and he's driving now, right? How do you go from him trying to have a match with Aleister Black to not having a match with Aleister Black, and then Aleister Black having a match, supposedly having a match with Damian Priest, for that match to get cancelled, and now we all forget about it, okay? And then they also retcon the fact that when Drew McIntyre got concertoed against Damian Priest in that steel cage match and he completely lost clean, right? Instead of Drew McIntyre going back and getting his lick back, he moves on, right? And he confronts Cody Rhodes after he beat Randy Orton at Night of Champions or whatever, after he won the title, right? And then he goes into the ring with Cody and Randy in it, and Randy Orton hits him with an RKO, and then they have like a whole thing with Jelly Bean at SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying? That ends, and then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre, he comes just right back again after getting his ass whooped, and then he's gonna go in there against Cody Rhodes and challenge him for the title. How? Why is that even a possibility? If anything, Damian Priest should be getting a title shot. No? Right? So they want to depend on us to forget all these things. And all these things are happening, for example, with Drew McIntyre. Why? Because they have no other heels. SmackDown is dry. SmackDown is empty. They have nothing. Look, this is a challenge, all right? Guys, in the comments, please, make a 5-match PLE with anybody under the age of 40 in the WWE today. Go ahead. Try and make a PLE. Try and make a worthy PLE of selling a few tickets. Of everybody under the age of 40. Go ahead. You will not make a good PLE, and I'm telling you that right now as a guarantee. And so, we are looking into the future of the WWE. And what do we see? I'm sorry, all I see is just a bunch of goon bait female matches wearing these stupid fucking not pants, trunks that are up their fucking booty crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's also one thing. What the hell happened to the female division? Isn't this supposed to be the female revolution, female empowerment? Dude, like 10 years ago, during the time of AJ Lee, Nikki Bella, I mean, they were wearing shirts and like trunks and pants and things of that nature. Today, these fucking, like, okay, I'm not gonna go red pill on you guys, but they're all wearing skimpy bikini type fucking attires, bro. Like, are you kidding me? Like, is this really what happened? This is the revolution? I mean, like, is empowerment really, like, has empowerment always meant women gotta be more skimpy? Like, is that really what empowerment has always meant? They can slut around more, they can be skimpy more? Is that really all there is to empowerment? I mean, come on. I really love the time when, like, for example, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey were going at it, and they went about it the right way. They even WrestleMania main evented. I was really behind that, because that year I even said they should main event WrestleMania, because that was the only storyline worthy of main eventing. So the heels advocate doesn't have some type of weight towards the female division. No, I would say the truth as it stands. And look, I've been talking about for, like, all of these problems for about, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and I'm going to get to the point where I'm talking about the females, and I'm going to get some stupid comments right now in the comment section saying, oh, the heels advocates, you just hate on the female. Like, are you kidding me, dude? I've been grilling the men's division for the entire time now. Are you kidding me, dude? You know what I'm saying? Stupid. Lock in. Okay, and then we have Triple H, who is more obsessed with selling out and, like, milking the WWE for all that it's worth without providing storylines. Okay, WWE Unreal. Let's expose the game. Let's expose the business. Oh, Rhea, come here. Let me rub you up and down with some motherfucking baby oil, baby. Yeah, you got some white lats on you. Ooh, have you been losing weight, Rhea? Yeah, you like that? All right, WWE Unreal. Okay, and then, like, the ESPN deal, and these guys want to have us sign up to an ESPN app for $30 a month. Are you stupid, guys? Get a VPN, all right? I will put the referral link to my NordVPN subscription. So, like, if you subscribe to NordVPN with that link, you'll get 3 months bonus at it for free, all right? Do as a heels advocate does and use a VPN to watch Netflix and get all the WWE content, because that is the only way to go about it, all right? So, one thing I want to touch on, which is probably the most crucial thing that truly bothers me. You guys, John Cena's last year with Triple H. How did you fumble it, my friend? How did you truly fumble John Cena's retirement year? Like that heel run. How did you fumble it, dude? Like I said, all you had to do was give Cena the right instructions. I mean, he was already willing to turn heel. So why do you have him come out at WWE Raw Brussels, all right? The first time Cena addresses the crowd, okay? And, like, the thing is this, he addressed the crowd weeks after he already turned heel. That's one thing I don't understand either, man. Just strike when the iron is hot, man. For crying out loud. Anyway, he comes out there in the crowd. He looks into the camera, really somber and sad. He says, and, like, after the first sentence, I knew this was some bullshit, right? He says, "This is a dysfunctional relationship." I was about to punch the next guy standing to me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, Cena, stop being a BITC. H. All right? Stop being that, brother. Because right now, you're just wasting our time in general. Like, you come out, this is a dysfunctional relationship. Even that little crowd kid in there, right there, in the crowd, that kid, you are, like, disrespectful. You are dysfunctional. And then every single promo since Cody Rhodes comes out, and, like, he's talking to him right to his face. Cody Rhodes barely gets a mention from John Cena. I mean, John Cena is cutting promos to the crowd, and Cody's cutting promos to John Cena. It didn't work. And then every single time, John Cena, he gets laid out. Crossroads every single week leading into WrestleMania. And then at WrestleMania, we have the match, okay? And guess what happens? Fiend. Impossible. The greatest moment in John Cena's career, right? The never seen 17. The record-breaking moments. We have Travis Scott's goofy 5'8" ass, 150 pounds soaking wet goofy ass dreadlock hat. You know what I'm saying? We have that little goofy kid go into the ring and mess up the entire show just for John Cena to win. And the thing is this, there was no connection. There was no payoff. What happened since? Where is Travis Scott since? Where is The Rock since? It didn't make any sense. And who was to blame? Not The Rock. Not John Cena. You know what I'm saying? Not Travis Scott even. The only guy to blame has always been Triple H. The guy who is addicted to clip farming moments. That is why he loves Logan Paul so much. Because he knows if I put Logan Paul in the elimination chamber and he gets a Sharpie and he draws a few stick figures on the pod of the elimination chamber that he's in, right? That's gonna get 100 million views on Instagram Reels, okay? If I get Aisha Speed to get like speared in half by Braun Breaker, that's gonna get 100 million views. Oh, okay. If I get Logan Paul versus John Cena, that's gonna get so much heat because, you know, Logan Paul's an outsider. Oh my god, what kind of a brain rot booking is this? You know what I'm saying? And then we went on, right? John Cena has his title, and then he cuts a promo. All of a sudden, RKO from out of nowhere. Randy Orton comes out and he just RKOs him. Unprovoked. Literally unprovoked. Okay? And then the second week, right, when they're gonna have a promo off, John Cena comes out and then Randy Orton comes out and they're talking. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, John. You're a damn heel, right? Why didn't you just go in there and attack Randy Orton backstage and get your lick back? Like, what the hell is all this talking and like trying to be rational? Dude, have a big schlong, go in there and fucking tripod slap his bitch ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Be a heel. Like, what happened to heels like Brock Lesnar back in 2002, 2003, where he was pushing handicapped people with their wheelchair off of stairs? Like, what happened to that, bro? What happened to heels like Brock Lesnar? Dude, I saw a clip of Brock Lesnar doing a powerbomb on a guy with one leg. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. What happened, bro? And today's heels, oh yeah, like all today's heels are this, all right? I got a faction, then, you know, what the faction is, you know, what they'll do is they're going to help me not lose a match. Not necessarily help me win, but they'll do their best for me to not lose. They will pull the referee from the bottom rope. They will distract the referee. They will do this and they will do that. And that's about it. Me, but like, you know, you as the heel leading that group, you are a worthless slime bag, sleaze bag, lazy bag. You know what I'm saying? You can't win a match solo. I mean, Brock Lesnar, he was a badass heel, you know what I'm saying? And he will win matches with or without help, you know what I'm saying? So, that is what we need today, but we don't. I mean, the most, like, the tallest, the jacked, the most, like, you know, like, best looking heel that we have today is Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre is losing the guys with fucking muffin tops, bro. He's losing to Damian Priest. I mean, Damian Priest, who wears a fucking, like, I don't know what the hell he's wearing, bro. Like, what the hell is he wearing? Like, those, like, leather, like, straps and stuff like that. Dude, you look like a rainbow. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, like, Drew McIntyre, 6'5", looks like a damn Adonis. And he can't look serious. He can't win a serious match, you know? He gets beaten by Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. And then he has to cut like a karaoke with Tyson Fury. And mind you, this was under Triple H. Alright? Vince was gone back then. That was all Triple H's booking. And that is what he does to Drew McIntyre. Triple H might hate Drew McIntyre. I don't know. He might just really hate him. You understand? And that is my issue here. We literally have nothing. Okay? We have nothing of like importance of proper heels. And so when John Cena finally turned heel, we would all expected him to be a badass. We all expected him to be Super Cena again, but no. He became an even bigger loser. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. And then he beats Randy Orton with like a cheap tactic. He beats CM Punk with a cheap tactic. You know, he wins or like loses the tag match. I can't really recall, man. It's so trash. I can't even remember it, to be honest, right? Luckily, like what I really liked about John Cena this year is that he had like a few matches with R-Truth on SmackDown. Like, I love that, dude. Give us some love, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least kiss me before you're gonna abuse me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Alright, at least try and make us feel like we're actually getting a good product here. And so, we go into SummerSlam. Okay, we have the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, finally come back. And mind you, Roman Reigns came back 3 times. Or like, he was written off TV 3 times this year. He was written off TV because he ate a curb stomp at the Royal Rumble, and he had to go away. Then he comes back, and then he gets written off of TV again at some stage, I forgot. And then he gets written off TV again at like the Clash at Paris. Like, written off TV 3 times a year. Like, what are we doing here, bro? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's just go back to Cena. All right. I mean, like SummerSlam. He finally has a match against Big Bad Bronson Reed, and it's a tag match. Okay, they win the tag match, but the following Monday Night Raw, like Division comes back and they just lay him out again. I mean, why did you have him lose? All right, for example, Roman Reigns, he beats Big Bad Bronson Reed, right? And then he immediately gets whooped. He gets like, Division immediately whooping his ass for it. And then like by the time he's like totally abused and bruised up, only then does Jey Uso come out. It doesn't make any sense, okay? It doesn't make any sense. It's all nonsensical garbage, nonsensical booking. And we as the viewers, right, the hardcore viewers, we're gonna have to just deal with it. All right, we're gonna have to make sense of it. We're gonna have to make fantasy bookings from it. We're gonna have to make some plot lines to connect all this trash together. Okay, we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to think about, okay, how can The Rock come back? How can he do this? How can he do that? But the reality is, they don't look at it that way. Let me tell you how they look at it. Okay, the WWE, all they care about right now is WrestlePalooza. And that is only just to give like ESPN a feel-good moment, all right? They don't really even care about WrestlePalooza. Why? Okay, because at SummerSlam, we had the biggest return of the entire year. Brock Lesnar, he comes back, okay? He comes back. He hits an F5 on Cena for some reason. I don't know, all right? And instead, to get the following SmackDown Live, maybe an explanation, no! We get Logan Paul, John Cena for some reason. And that lasts about an entire month. And only now can we move forward to WrestlePalooza and hope Brock Lesnar. Bro, the iron is cold. The iron is cold. You gotta strike when the iron is hot. It's cold. Okay, and what that's really tells me is that not only is Clash at Paris a glorified house show, but it was just a buffer moment. I mean, they only have 5 matches for crying out loud. All right, and then the Monday Night Raw after that, right? It's literally like in the same arena with the same set with the same stage. It's just a joke. Okay, and then we're gonna go into WrestlePalooza. Okay, and it's going to be John Cena's final 2-3 matches anymore. Like, he doesn't have that many matches left. And what is going to happen there? Is he going to win or lose? We won't even know. Because why? You wasted time. You could have had the match at Clash at Paris. You wasted time. Okay, so we're going to have the match between John Cena and Brock Lesnar for the so many time. However way it plays out, it doesn't really have a big impact in my opinion, because I don't really see Brock Lesnar entering the title picture again. I don't really see that happening. So once again, it is just a one-off cash grab. It's a one-off nostalgia bait, and then we're gonna move on from there. And then once again, another nostalgia bait. AJ Lee Mendez is gonna team up with CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Oh my God, my childhood memories have finally come back to light. I can't wait to look at AJ Lee, who went from like a little girl type of phenotype to just a random bushy brow, juiced up to the gills, I don't know what the hell happened, bro. But she looks like she just swallowed an entire man, bro. She looks like she has swallowed 10 vials of testosterone. Okay? There's something wrong going on right now. So, aside from that, we have the whole thing with the WWE Championship that is just in limbo. All right, Drew McIntyre attacks Cody Rhodes. We think they're gonna have a match. No, it didn't happen. Why? Because Cody Rhodes is somewhere in Australia shooting a movie for Street Fighter with 50 Cent. Come on, bro. Why even have the title on Cody Rhodes if that was the case? You could have had Cody Rhodes lose at SummerSlam. That whole face turn that John Cena did at SmackDown a day before SummerSlam. You could have had that as just as a swerve. John Cena could have swerved those at SummerSlam. Okay, he could have swerved those at SummerSlam, and John Cena, he was going to turn back heel at SummerSlam during the match, and he's going to completely brutalize and just abuse Cody Rhodes, leave in a just bloody mess, and toss him out of the ring, write him off TV because he's going to move, shoot his movie, whatever, at Australia, and we're going to have essentially still Brock Lesnar come out and challenge John Cena for the title, and maybe Brock Lesnar could win the title off John Cena. That would be interesting, no? Or even John Cena can retain. I don't know. All right, go with that. It's a lot more interesting than just leaving us in limbo. Okay, what is that all about? I don't understand it, you guys. Okay, even the female WWE Championship, right? Naomi vacates it, and instead of Stephanie Vaquer having a match at Clash at Paris, it's gonna be at WrestlePalooza. Why? It doesn't make sense. Every single thing is just bloat and wasting time. And trust me when I say this. After WrestlePalooza, the next big moment in WWE is going to be at Royal Rumble. We're not going to get anything new up until the Royal Rumble. Are you kidding me? We're going to suffer through buffer moments. And guess what? At Survivor Series War Games, we might have a big 5-3-5 type of match, but it's once again meaningless. And then once again, we're going to have to think about how John Cena is going to wrap up his entire career in December. Who is he going to wrestle? There's talks. Maybe it's Gunther. Maybe it's Dominic Mysterio. Maybe it's whoever the fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because the entire year is already ruined. And like the thing is this is the way that I would have done it, okay? John Cena beats Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. John Cena beats him again at SummerSlam by, you know, like being face, and all of a sudden he's going to turn heel again and like do the cheap shot thing with the belt, leaving a bloody mess, do a concerto on him, be an actual heel, like menacing heel, okay? Brock Lesnar comes out of WrestlePalooza and like, you know, he's going to go after John Cena. John Cena, he's going to do some dirty tactic to beat him because like, you know, he beat him at Extreme Rules with that like chain shot. He might do something similar. He might like put the chain around his neck and I don't know, something like when STF and like have him pass out, look really strong, go into War Games and have like an entire like feud with the heels against some other people. And then at War Games, we're going to have Cody Rhodes come back out, and then we're going to have the final match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena be actually John Cena's last match. And you know how like at SummerSlam after the match ended, John Cena and Cody Rhodes, like, you know, they shook hands. Cody Rhodes did like the soldier salute to him, and that will be the way John Cena ends off his career. That would be such a great way to do it. You know, long-term storytelling. Isn't that what like everybody was glazing Triple H for? Long-term storytelling. Where is that? What long-term storytelling has Triple H done since Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns? Come on. Where is it? Where is it? I'm waiting. Are you kidding me? Where is it? So, everything leads back into the Royal Rumble. And unfortunately, I look at the entire roster and I just don't see anybody worthy of winning it. I don't. You know, unless Roman Reigns comes back in time for like, you know, Survivor Series and he cleans house against the Vision, that might open up his schedule to like move back to like, you know, SmackDown Live and focus back on the WWE Undisputed title. He could win the Royal Rumble and he could challenge Cody Rhodes versus, you know, like he could challenge Cody Rhodes for the title, but then it's like a babyface versus babyface situation. So we really have to turn Cody Rhodes heel then. So like I said, maybe it's not going to be Roman Reigns, but then who? Who is it going to be if it's not Roman Reigns? Sami Zayn? I mean, if you're going to have Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble, you know, having Sami Zayn win is not too far-fetched either. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia. I'm already holding my heart right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen. And if it does, I might have to bro kick my TV. that can't happen. I mean, come on. I already lost my mind when he just pinned Solo Sikoa 1, 2, 3 in the middle of that thing. I mean, that is already as bad as it is. So like having him go in there and like challenge, you know, Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, I don't know, man. I don't want to see it. I'm sick to my stomach. I don't want to think about the future because the future is so bleak, and I will have to go away now. But guess what, Mama Rhodes? Guess what, my heels advocates? If you've made it this far into the video, please smash the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, because that's the bottom line, because the heels advocate said so. If you smell